All right, so for the past few years, the battle lines in the AI industry they felt pretty clear, right? You had a couple of giant closed-door labs building the most powerful models, and then you had this scrappy open-source community trying its best to keep up. Well, you can pretty much tear up that entire map. The fundamental rules of the game have just changed, completely.
And look, that's not me being dramatic. This quote just hits the nail on the head. It perfectly captures this massive shift we're all witnessing. The whole idea that a closed, proprietary model will just always be better, that's not a given anymore. In fact, that belief has been totally shattered.
So what are we looking at now? We've gone way beyond a simple two-horse race between open and closed. We are now smack in the middle of an era of what people are calling hybrid competition. And it's not a sprint anymore. It's a much more strategic, way more complex chess match, where every single player is making some really calculated moves.
What really lit the fuse for all this change was a huge leap forward in open-source AI. And I'm not just talking about the open models finally catching up. No. We have hit a turning point where for some really important high-value tasks, they are actually taking the lead. This is that moment where just being equal, that parity, tipped right over into supremacy.
And if you need Exhibit A for this shift, look no further than a project called Open-CUA. Now, this isn't just another model that's, a decent copy of what a proprietary one can do. Open-CUA represents a fundamental move away from imitation towards true bottom-up innovation. It's solving a problem that used to be the exclusive playground of the big AI labs.
You see, the real genius of Open-CUA isn't just the final model. It's the entire recipe they created and then gave away. First, they built a brand new tool to gather the data. Then they created this massive, one-of-a-kind data set with it. And then they developed the training methods to turn all that raw data into a powerhouse AI agent. This is just a whole new level of maturity for open source.
And the results? They're just undeniable. On a standardized test for real-world computer tasks, the open-source Open-CUA model didn't just compete with OpenAI's agent, which, by the way, is built on their top-tier GPT-4o model. It actually beat it. This is cold, hard proof that a specialized open-source project can outperform the biggest names in the game.
So when an upset like that happens, what do the industry titans do? Well, they are forced to go back to the drawing board and completely rethink their strategies. This one technological shift has basically flipped the entire chessboard over, and now everybody is scrambling to make their new moves.
And we're seeing two very, very different philosophies emerge at the top. On one side, you've got OpenAI playing this hybrid game. They're releasing really powerful free models to basically flood the middle of the market, while keeping their absolute best, their crown jewels, proprietary. Then, in the other corner, you have Anthropic, who's doubling down on the closed, safety-first approach. They're trying to build an impenetrable fortress to win over big business with reliability and trust. And get this, here's the real shocker. Anthropic's seemingly counterintuitive strategy? It's working. As of the middle of 2025, they've actually pulled ahead of OpenAI in enterprise use. And what that tells us is that for a lot of big companies, things like security and reliability are actually more important than just having the absolute bleeding-edge model. Of course, the other big players are carving out their own lanes. You've got Meta, who basically started this whole open-source tsunami with Llama, and now they're at a crossroads in a hyper-competitive market that they helped create. Meanwhile, Google and Mistral are using a classic freemium approach. Release good, free open-source models to get developers hooked, and then funnel them towards their more powerful, paid versions.
Okay, so let's get practical. What does all this mean for any business that's actually trying to use AI? The whole conversation has shifted. It's not this ideological debate anymore about open versus closed. It's now a really deep strategic question about making the right choice in this new dual-track world.
And really, it all boils down to this one fundamental question that every tech leader is asking themselves right now. Is it better to build your AI systems using open-source tools to get maximum control, or is it better to just buy them through a simple API to get maximum speed? And there's just no single right answer here. It is all about trade-offs. If you go open source, you get incredible control, you keep your data private, but you need more in-house experts, and you own the security problem. On the flip side, proprietary models are way faster to get up and running, and the vendor handles security, but you give up control, and your sensitive data has to leave your building.
So what are the smartest companies actually doing? Are they picking a side? Nope. A full 70% of organizations are now using a hybrid approach.
They're pragmatically mixing and matching, using proprietary APIs for some things and self-hosted open models for others, just to get the best tool for every single job.
This new hybrid reality creates a really fascinating dynamic. You know, they say in a gold rush, the real money is made selling picks and shovels. Well, that is exactly what's happening in AI right now. As the models themselves start to become more common, almost a commodity, the real lasting value is shifting to the platforms that provide those essential tools.
And two players really stand out here. You've got Hugging Face, which has become the GitHub for AI. It's the town square for the entire open source community. And then you have Databricks, which has brilliantly positioned itself as the Switzerland of AI. They're the neutral, trusted platform that lets big companies securely connect any model to their most valuable private data. They aren't betting on one horse, they're building the whole racetrack.
So, let's pull all these threads together. When you step back, you can see the clear outline of AI's future. This isn't a winner-take-all market. It's settling into a stable, dual-track economy where the real, long-term battles are going to be fought on a few very specific battlegrounds.
At the end of the day, the competitive advantages, the moats, are no longer just about who has the best model. The real, enduring advantages now come down to three things: having unique, proprietary data that nobody else has, controlling the massive trillion-dollar computer infrastructure you need to build these giant models, and achieving deep, deep enterprise integration, becoming so embedded in a company's workflow that they can't imagine living without you.
And all of that leaves us with one final, fascinating question to think about. As this AI landscape settles into its new reality, where is the real value going to be created? Is the smartest play to join the incredibly expensive race to build the next great model? Or is it to build the essential platforms, the tools, and the integrations that create the entire world around them?